My name is Banafshe Bezad, one of the co-hosts of Originals, where we present outstanding research in everyday language. Today, I'm excited to introduce the other co-host of the Original, Dr. David Morrison, who is a researcher in a small business. He's going to talk about a very important topic of why research is important.
Hello, my name's David Morrison, one of the co-hosts here at Originals. I also work at a small business doing research and development in computer science and mathematics. This is the last episode of our first season of Originals, and I want to thank everybody for watching and for participating and supporting our really fabulous lineup of guests. I've been really excited to have them all here, and I'm really excited to hear about their research and to follow them as they continue in their scientific careers. We have a little bit of a different episode planned for you today. Instead of talking about a particular research topic that I've been working on or that I'm interested in, instead what I want to spend some time discussing is why we're doing this show in the first place. Namely, I'd like to try to answer the question, what is it about fundamental scientific research that is so important? The first and perhaps the most obvious beneficiary of fundamental scientific research is science itself. See, science is a very incremental process. It's very rare for there to be some earth-shattering scientific breakthrough that changes the perspective of the entire world all at once. It's far more common for there to be an incremental process where someone will push back the boundaries of what we know a little bit. Someone else will then come along and push back the boundaries a little bit more, building on everything that has happened before. The process is slow, but it's important. Things like your cell phones, cars, spaceships, submarines, medicine, all of these things build on scientific breakthroughs, and some of those breakthroughs happened last year, some of those breakthroughs happened 50 years ago, and some of those breakthroughs happened hundreds or maybe even thousands of years ago. And this is why it's so important that science should not be profit motivated. Profit is a very short-term thing. You're looking for something that's going to make you money right now. Science is not a short-term thing. You're looking for things that maybe don't have any practical application right now. It might not even be obvious to the scientific community or to the world at large the value of your research for 50, 100, 300 years. But in order for it to keep moving, it's critical that we keep taking steps, one foot in front of the other, everybody trying to push back the boundaries of what they know. That's the only way that we're going to succeed. The second reason why fundamental scientific research is important is for the benefit of society. As Professor McClay said during the first episode of Originals, we live in a world of limited resources. And in order to understand how to manage and distribute those resources most effectively, we have to understand the world that we live in. And those types of questions all have their roots in science. We require a fundamental level of scientific literacy in order to enact a global level of societal change for the better. Now, I'm not saying that everybody on the planet needs to have a PhD in a scientific discipline. My only point is that we need people to understand and to trust that science works. You don't need to understand the equations governing the gravitational force to have a basic idea that if you drop something from a tall building, it will fall to the ground. Unfortunately, many of our politicians and other public figures either do not or refuse to understand basic scientific principles. Subjects such as climate change, vaccine distribution, or privacy and security on the internet are topics of heated public debate in the global community. However, the scientific community has largely reached a consensus regarding these and many other important questions. If we, as a global community of human beings, are going to avoid stagnation and continue to improve the world around us and to make people's lives better, we must support and expand foundational, fundamental scientific research and literacy. Finally, I'd like to talk about how fundamental scientific research can benefit people on a personal level. See, science is hard. It takes a long time, and the process requires a lot of personal growth. You need to understand the way that you think about things. You need to understand what you believe about certain things, and then you need to learn how to question those beliefs. What if they're not true? What if you missed something? What if there's an answer that's hidden in a corner that you didn't think to look in? You need to learn how to ask those types of questions. And it's not easy to do. You also need to know how to fail a lot. Because when you're doing scientific research, you're going to fail. And then you're going to fail again. And then you're going to fail again. And every time you fail, you need to pick yourself back up and you need to understand what you've learned and how you can move forward. And none of that's easy, but it's very, very valuable. Moreover, science research is fun. It's exciting. You get to be an explorer. You get to see things that nobody has ever seen before. You get to understand the world in a way that nobody else on the planet understands the world. Science is a creative process. You get to make things. You get to build things. You get to use parts of your brain that answer questions and solve problems. And when you get that breakthrough on that problem that you've been working on for months or years or decades, there's nothing else in the world like that. And as I've said before, you don't have to be a PhD in a scientific field to be a scientist. All you have to do is ask questions. All you have to do is try to understand things that you don't understand. Step outside your door, look at the world around you, and try to understand it in a new and exciting and different way. Try to do something that is, in a word, original. And that's what this entire show is about. Thanks for watching.